hello, and welcome to Vessel of Hope. Yes, it's your Tuesday goodness, your Tuesday relaxation, your Tuesday time to get away from the work week. Oh man, whoo! In 2 days is a holiday, y'all. 2 days of 4th of July. I know you're all excited. Yes, we are excited. We are excited. I hope somebody planning a barbecue. Invite me. I'll be there. I'll be there. Come on now. Yes, so thank you all so much for joining us. I appreciate it. You know what I need you to do. You know what I need. It's not even a want. It's a need. I need you to go ahead. And for those of you that are on Facebook, I need you to love it. I need you to share it. I need you to comment. And for those of you that are on YouTube, you know what you got to do as well. You just got to like it. I need you to subscribe, and of course, let's continue to have our conversation. Go ahead and participate and comment and share, and I appreciate each of you for doing that. Thank you all so much. I want to thank you all for celebrating Mother P's birthday yesterday, the big 8 and 3. Oh my, Mother P's getting younger by the second. Yes, thank you all so much for those of you all with the cash apps and the birthday texts that you sent out to her. She received it all, and we thank you, appreciate you so much. So last week I gave you a little bit of homework. What was my homework that I gave everyone last week? Last week you were supposed to go and check what the meaning of your name was, right? I know some of you did it. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Share it right there. Share it right there. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. The meaning of your name. And you were supposed to answer the question, why do you do what you do? Did you answer it? Prophet Reese, I know you did. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yes. Why do you do what you do? Yes. Thank you all so much. But today, it's a new day. It's a new week. It's a new era. So we're moving into something new. Thank you all so much for participating in that. I appreciate you. Let's go with our conversation. Let's go with our dialogue. Today, I want to talk to you about it's buried. Don't dig it up. Right? It's buried. Don't dig it up. Right? One thing about life is that it's not a movie. We know that. It's not a movie. You know, we watch Back to the Future and we can't go back to the future and redo things. I know there's a lot of things that you as a human being, as an individual, you want to redo from the moment you were born. Some of you want to be born in a different family, right? But you can't redo it because that's just how life is, right? It's already been there. You've already done it. You've already come in this life. That's it. The thing that we don't have, that we had already done, it can't happen again. It's already happened, right? We cannot go back and redo it. But some people have the tendency, right, to dig up things, to try to go back, try to dig up things that was already done, right? That was already buried, that was already settled. So today, I want to give you one insight on why not to dig it up. Just one why not to dig it up, right? But before I give you that one insight, my mom always used to say this, right? She'll say this like if we are siblings, if we get a little upset at each other and we go to Mother P and she's supposed to be resolve it, right? She don't Mother P don't ever resolve me. Young, she's just like I'm a box all IO, right? That's it. That's her resolution, right? But if we go to Mother P for some kind of resolution, right? And Mother P will come up with this thing, right? If we remember, if we go to her, be like, yesterday they did so and so, last week they did so and so, whatever the situation is. Mother P said, let's sleep in dog lies. She said that to us all the time when we were young, and I used to be something like, why can't you spank them for what they said yesterday? She'd be like, let sleeping dog lie. Because she's like, oh, you know what? She's saying, yesterday's gone. It happened yesterday. It's already buried. Let's move forward. Let's forget about the issue, the situation, the tantrum that was thrown yesterday, and let's sleep in dog lie. Let's move on from that. So my one insight for you today is to have it buried and not dig it up is because it's buried. Right? Right, Prophetess Diaz? It's buried. Right, Prophetess Loretta? It's buried. It's buried, Sister Bassett. It's done. It's gone. It's buried. So if it's buried, why do you want to go back? Last week I talked about how I had a fear of cemeteries, right? I, for one, ain't going to dig nothing up. Because I ain't doing that. We ain't in it. We ain't in it. So why would you want to go back and dig it up if it's already buried? In order for you to go back and dig it up, you have to go in the cemetery to dig it up, right? And what's in cemetery? What is the main thing that's in cemetery? Dead things. things that are already dead. So why do you want to go back into dead things and try to dig up something that's dead? You can't bring it back alive. When you get in a family get together or celebration or something, they have those family that'll be like, oh, this and this and this. A true story. And I won't be long today. I know. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I was telling Pastor the other day, I was like, these preachers be lying. Cause they be like 5 minutes, 5 more minutes. 30 minutes later, they still didn't do their 5 minutes yet. They be lying, right? In that aspect, right? So true story. One time we had a family get together with my mom extended family, her siblings and stuff. And we were there and we were having a good time. We're eating and we're talking. And then they bring up old stories, right? And one of the old stories had something to do with my grandfather. I'm not going to elaborate on it. And whatever the situation is. And then one of her siblings was like, oh, I miss him. He took such good care of us. Oh my gosh, y'all. Let me tell you. It was a wrap. Like the whole house was like turned upside down. Some siblings on this side was like, no. The other ones was like, yes. It was a big old thing. And I'm like, why are we going back so far in the past to a man that's already dead? And we're talking about him like if he's in the present can come and resolve this situation and say, yes, my kids were amazing. I took care of each and every one of you when it never happened. So it caused a big old thing. I'm like, these people, why they going in the grave? Why they going in the cemetery and they're digging up things that are buried? You can't do that. Why dig up things that are already buried, right? It's already buried. Leave it alone. And I find a lot of individuals do that, with the regrets of life. Oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you can't. Like Mother P. We tell this story a lot. Mother P, her highest level of education was elementary school because she came out early because she's the eldest with her twin brother, and she had to take care of the other siblings. So she came out to take care of the other siblings. So Mother P be like, oh, I could have gone to college. I could have, I wanted to be an accountant. And I'm always like, well, you can still go back. Just the other day, a lady, 101-year-old, she graduated with her doctorate. No, with her master's. So I'm like, Mother P, well, you can go right on. Right. Let's not complain about things, right? Let's not dig up things that we can solve now, that we can fix now. That's right? Because when you go back, you're like, oh, I should have been. You're dwelling on the past. And I said this before. I love to hear Mother P tell me old stories about how the family used to be. How Pinky Parkwood, that's her grandmother. That's my twin. Pinky Park, I said if Pinky Park was alive today, me and her would blaze the streets of New York. You hear me? I'll blaze the streets. You just look at her wrong and she ready to fight. We would have blazed the streets of New York. But I love when she tell me these stories and about things that happen when they're kids, the good stuff. But when she goes into, oh, but they could have did this differently, and I'm like, nah, let's not change that narrative because it couldn't have been done differently. What you can do now is, as you move forward and progress in your future, you can do things differently with your family, with your kids, with your grandkids, right? Because why are we going and dig up things that are already dead? It's buried. Don't do that because it's buried, right? Talk back to me. We having a dialogue here. Talk back to me. It is buried, so it is gone. It is done with, right? We have to resolve what needs to be resolved today. That's one thing that I'm still working on. Some things you got to resolve. Some things that need to be resolved today. Because I was just reading something on Facebook the other day. Somebody said somebody put up a post of someone of a funeral and they said people that travel all over the world, right, to come to your funeral, but they wouldn't travel 30 minutes to come and support you in your endeavor or whatever situation is. And it's true. It's so true because they will come to your funeral and they do all of the, oh, I can't believe you gone. Apostle and I were watching the funeral the other day, and the lady was talking about it's a guy in his funeral. Who could go buy bread with me now? Oh God, man, they gotta buy bread with me no more. And it's kind of like those things. Like, okay, that I understand. You're gonna miss that relationship. I gotta go buy bread by myself. But if you're there, like, oh, I didn't even have a chance to tell you sorry for how you. Why we doing that now? Why we doing that now? Why we doing that now? You had the chance and you did it. Resolve what you can resolve today. And you know, it always say tomorrow's not promised to no one, right? Someone said to Apostle the other day, someone said, long life. I see long life on you. I looked at the Apostle and I started laughing because I'm like, they don't even know she want to be caught up. They don't even, and I'm cracked and I'm laughing to myself, right? Because the inside joke with us, we know the inside joke. We talk about, I was cracking up and I was like, oh yeah, they don't know she want to be caught up. Yeah. So resolve what you can resolve today, right? Because so that tomorrow you don't have to go to the cemetery and resurrect it. Do that today. So tomorrow you won't have to go. You won't have to dig it back up because it's already dead. It's already dead. And there's so many times in your life too, you need to kill some things. There's some things in your life that you need to kill. And when you kill it, bury it, and don't resurrect it. But we're not going to dwell on that. Let's move along, right? Sometimes, right? No, some things are better off left dead. Remember that. Some things are better off left dead. And sometimes individual people as human beings, you want to go back and you want to pull things, you want to dig things up that don't need to be digged up. Like I tell you, with the family, when we were having a Thanksgiving dinner, and one of the siblings talk about, oh, my father, he took care of us, and everybody's like, oh, if he took care of y'all, my mom wouldn't have to come out of school to take care of y'all. Does that make sense to you? You know, but it's like, why dig that up? Because their mindset is already out there. My grandfather took care of them, when all of the logics and the evidence is saying no, he didn't, but their whole mindset is, this is what I'm sticking to. So why try to dig that up if you already know someone's mindset is like, no, I wasn't wrong? You ever talk to those people? Oh, Father. I'll be like, Father, in the name of Jesus. I was eavesdropping on Apostle's conversation the other day, right? Not with anyone of you, with one of her colleagues, and she was talking, and they said something, and the Apostle was like, no, but you were wrong. You were wrong. You should have did X, Y, D, and you shouldn't have did this. You were wrong. You were out of order. And they were just like, no, I wasn't wrong. It's because of me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I walked away. I was like, oh my God. Because we were eating and she was in the setting talking. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I gotta walk out of this conversation. I gotta walk out. I don't want to hear. You ever meet individuals like those? You tell them there's evidence there, right? But they're like, no, we're going to go back in the cemetery. I'm going to dig this back up because I'm right. And I'm going to prove to you why I was right. No, nope. Leave it where it's at. You don't have to go to the cemetery and resurrect it again. But some things are better off left dead.
That's right.
That relationship that you knew was no good for you. Why? The Bible talks about you going back to the dog going back to his vomit. Why are you going back to your vomit? Why you want to do that to yourself? It was no good for you then. You think it's going to be better for you now? Come on now. Let's stop. Let's stop. Stop going and dig it back up. You know, why are you calling him? Come on, sisters. Come on, sisters. Why are you calling him? Because you mad at your husband, so you're going to call your ex. Why? Like those people who are like, oh, my ex and I are best friend. Why is your ex and you best friend? Let me take a sip of this because y'all making me get upset right now. All right, Prophetess Patricia Williams, you know what I'm talking. Making me get upset. Why are you friends with your ex? Unless you have babies with him, you have to communicate. The baby don't have no phone to call their dad themselves, so you have to have a line of communication. But you have no children, or you have grown kids that have their own cell phone that can call their daddy when they want to. Why are you communicating? Why are you telling your ex about your marital problems? Why are you doing that? You are going back into the cemetery and you trying to dig back up what's buried. And you know what you're doing? You're causing havoc for yourself. You're causing confusion for yourself. You're causing a whole lot of disruption in your home for yourself. You walking into that trap, but I ain't feel sorry for you. You on your own. As I tell the kids, you on your own, but you got to figure that out, right? You're on your own with that because you're going back to a relationship that are dead. And some things that are better left dead, or even some friendships. Some friendship that meant you no good. You know those friends that always belittle you, or those friends that always, we talked about it last week, one up you or feel like they're better than you. No matter what you do, if you share a good news, they're gonna bring your good news down, right? Because they want to always be on top. You know, if you say, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and fast. Oh, why you need to fast? You know what? I'm gonna fast with you. But let's just fast for like 3 hours. Why? Those are relationships that need to be cut away. If you're like, you know what, I feel a call of God to do this, or to accomplish this, and they're like, oh, but I don't know, I don't think God said that for you to do that. I don't know why God would say, you ain't God. I was telling again the other day, Apostle, we were talking, and someone's and yo, I be cracking myself up, right? So I was telling Apostle, I was like, the reason why this person did this, I bet you they're gonna say God told him to do it. And Apostle started laughing. So she's talking to the person, and she's like, "Why would you do that?" And they were like, well, because God had told me to do it that way. And I looked at her, and I almost fell off the chair. Again, we're in a sitting setting, we're eating, and she's talking, and they're talking, and I'm mutual friend with the person, so it's not like, oh, I'm eavesdropping, like, but I'm just sitting there eating, and I was cracking. I was like, see, I knew it. It's those individuals that says God saying God ain't said God like when did I speak to them? They don't even know me. I don't even know them. When I speak to them, be careful of those friendships that you need to pull away from, that means no good. And of course, again, even those deep dark secrets, some of them need to be buried. You killed somebody and buried them in Timbuktu, and you try to move up. You listen. Let's move along, because Prophetess Diaz is on here, and she might come and arrest you. But, some things you need to leave. Leave it buried, leave it in the grave, right? There's some people that will say, I'm going to take this to my grave, right? There's some things, I'm going to take it to my grave. Mother P, I'm sharing Mother P's secret. Mother P can't keep a secret. Well, at least not from me. Mother P can't keep a secret from me and our oldest brother. So if you tell Mother P something that say don't tell, I know it. She'll call me to tell me. She'll call me to tell me. Call me to tell me. She'll be like, but you didn't hear from me, right? Just tell her later, right? Just tell her later. But it's always one of those things that's gonna come out, so it's not like it's a big old thing. But anyway, so you have to be careful. You have to be careful of those people. I'm gonna take it to my grave, right? They say, I'm going to take it to my grave. So when they take it to their grave, don't go there and try to resurrect it. When you see people and they sit at a cemetery and they're talking to people that have dead, and they're talking to this tombstone, and they're there and they're like yelling, right? And they're like yelling, I can't believe it. They took that to their grave. They took that bank card information to their grave. You can't get that money. The pastor said, They take it to their grave, right? Or the people that like to say, let's not talk about it anymore, right? Or it's what's done is done. I had a conversation, not a conversation. One time someone Facebooked me, and they were upset at something that I did, right? This is someone that I know that I talk to once in the blue or whatever. And they were upset at something that I did, and they said to me, as far as I am concerned, this is the end of this. When you come to me with that tone, now you just like, if you in front of me, I'm Prophetess Diaz, we're gonna get street. Prophetess Loretta, we're gonna get street on them, And I was like, ooh, and I was really perturbed about it. So I went to Apostle and I was like, this person said this. Does this really kind of bother me? You want to kind of get them right. And I was like, and I'm gonna calm myself before I say something about it, because it's a mutual friend of Apostle and of Mother P as well. So I went to Mother P. Mother P said, "Touch it, don't take shy, pass you." Don't take shy, pass you. And I was like, again, I do the stop think process thing, and I was like, I'm not even gonna respond to it, because if I do, it's gonna carry on a whole conversation and so on. And there's those people that will come to you and they will say, well, it's done. We're not gonna speak about this anymore. But you haven't had a resolution about it. You still want to make this thing come to an end. I understand those situations. But if the person on the other end is saying it's done, why would you go and try to dig it up? It's done. Just leave it alone. You know what I do to that person? I don't communicate with them anymore. They send me a friend request on Facebook on another page, and I have not even responded. And then they might be watching this too. And then they sent me a message. I send you a friend request on my other Facebook, or someone locked into this Facebook, and so on and so forth. I did not respond to that because you offended me. And what am I not going to do? I'm not going to go into the grave. I'm not going to dig it up, right? Because it's dead. The friendship is dead. The relationship is dead. And that's what you need to do with some people. If they're saying it's done, we're not going to address this anymore, then it's done. You need to kill it. Oh, to his hand, God's unchanging hand. All right. Prophetess Cherise, stop it. So what is it that you need to keep buried, right? What is it that you need to keep buried? What is it that you feel like you needed to resolve, but you're saying, you know what, I can do that later. Don't leave it for later. Resolve it now so that 2 weeks, a month, 5 years from now, you don't have to come back to this place, go into the cemetery, dig it up. It's already buried. Why would you want to do that? Leave it alone. What is it that you tried so hard to dig up, but you know you should have left it alone? Don't do that. Don't go back. Again, don't go back to the vomit. Don't go back to the past. Don't go back to what's done, right? Sometimes you may try to go back to the things that are not resolved anymore. But you cannot do that. Because why? It's already, some things you cannot, especially if you're dealing with a situation that's already dead, that we had a wake for, we had a funeral, we had a repast. Done. And and especially for those individuals you're in relationship, you're married, you divorce somebody, it's like, oh, this divorce, I'm not like over this divorce, I can't believe how they ended with me, blah, blah. And this person moved on, they're already in a new relationship, and you over there still mad about the divorce. You have to find a way. Here's a key word. You have to find, right? Find. Seek and you shall find. You have to find a way to not go back to that grave and try to talk to that person to resolve it, because that person, you're not in their mind. That's what I'm trying to say to you. When others or individuals have moved on from something, don't go back and bring it up, because they moved on. You're not going to get a solid resolution. Oh, I know. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it for you. I feel it for you. And as I'm talking, some of you probably like, yep, you're right. I try to tell this person what they did offended me, or what they said offended me, but they're still not agreeing with me. Leave it alone, because you're going to dig up something that's already dead. Don't try to dig it up. Why? Because it's already dead. It's already buried. Leave it alone. Move on. I'll take you out and we get a lollipop. That's what I like to give everybody. Yeah, I got one in my purse right now. I'll give you a lollipop, right? This is what you say, right? Sometimes you may try to go back and think that hey, if I can resolve this, but here's the thing is, you say they shouldn't have done that. But what? Well, they did. That's what you have to say to yourself. Not they shouldn't have done that. They did. Why? Why is did? Because it's done already. Right? They shouldn't have said that. Well, it's said. It's said. It's said and it's done. It's said and it's done. I should never have trusted them, but you did. You did. We talk about this a lot. Gotta pray for that spirit of discernment, y'all. Pray for that spirit of discernment so you can know who you can confide in, who you can tell what to, who you can share things with. Because what? Because you trust them, you share, and what happened? Throw in the dust. So all of these things, you should have used these as examples for the future. Use these as examples for the future. Okay, they said that it's either you resolve it today or tomorrow, or just leave it alone. You just got to try. The key word is try. I don't tell people move on. You have to try, right? Try to move on from it. Try to leave it where it's at. Because sometimes a lot of people don't like for you to bring back up situations, because it's done already. Don't like I said, one of the kids, he went and I'm sharing a lot of people's business today, right? He went and he said something to his parent that I never said. So the parent said to me, and I was like, no, I never said that. I have a witness here that said that they were there when I said blah blah blah. So then again, the other day, he was doing the same thing. So I said to him, I said, you're doing the same thing that I told you not to do from before. And I already spoke to you, and your parent and I had a conversation about it, and you're still doing it again. And I'm saying only XYZ do this, and this is why so and so. So why are you doing it again? I said, the next time you do it, I'm going to chop your hair off, and I'm going to chop your hands off too. I just speak these words. I'm really not going to chop nobody. Prophetess Diaz, I see you. I see you try to come get me. Don't do it. No, but sometimes this is what I try to put fear in the kids to make them walk right. Because again, we talked about it last week. What the Bible said, what Apostle favorite scripture that became our favorite scripture. When they do foolish things, you gotta spank spank it out of them, right? So this individual was doing something foolish, and I'm like, you better come on. And then when I walk away, I was like, you can go ahead and you can tell your mother that this is exactly what I said, okay? Because I'm gonna nip it in the bud now, right? So that later on, a week or two, I won't have to go to this conversation and say, oh, this is what happened, this is what, because I give you permission to now go and relay, this is what we did, right? So we cannot go, you have to solve, if you cannot solve it today or tomorrow, you got to just try to leave it. You got to try to just leave it alone, because it's not going to go far, right? But here's when dealing with do not dig up what's buried, because it's already buried. This is what Jesus said. Jesus said this in Luke 9 and verse 60 in the Weymouth New Testament, part A, right? He says, leave the dead, Jesus rejoined, to bury their own. And again, in the beginning, what I said, what's in the cemetery? Just dead things, right? So if it's already dead, don't bury it. And you yourself need to kill some things and say, you know what, this is dead. I'm not going to resurrect it. I'm not going to come and try to dig it up, because it's already dead. There's nothing you can do when it's dead, right? You can't throw no water. It's not a plant. You're not going to throw water in it. No, it's dead. Leave it alone. So there's some things in your life that you need to bury, as Jesus said, that you need to bury. Leave it where it's at. Bury it where it's at. So remember, it's buried. Don't dig it up. Why? Because it's dead. You like that? You like that, Brother Cherise? Because it's dead. Let's not go back to the past, go back to situations that's already gone, that's already been settled on the opposite person's end. They already solved it. They're fine about their decision about what they did. And you over here moping and no. Try to find a way to leave it alone and to move on from it, right? So don't dig it up. It's buried, right? So let me go ahead and pray for you today before you go. Lord, I thank you for your people. Thank you that you're keeping them. Thank you that you're strengthening them. Thank you that they took time out to come for us to have our little dialogue today. I pray even now that you continue to keep them and bless them. Lord, I pray even now for those that already buried something. Don't go back and let them not go back and dig it up, because it's dead. It's buried. Let them leave it alone and try to move on and move forward. Bless your people and keep them in Jesus' name. Amen. Y'all, don't forget, it's on your screen, www.hellomarcelsampson.com. Go visit, read the blog, be encouraged, and I will see you back here again next week. Have a wonderful 4th of July. And don't forget, tonight on the prayer line, 7:45, let's be on. Let's get the word of the Lord in our soul. Love you. Mwah. God bless you.